Grand Risings. It's about 7 o'clock. Yeah, the kids are still asleep. I think they're a little bit tired. We couldn't really see last night, like where we camped, but I was I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit like, I don't know where we're gonna find somewhere, like, shit. There was a perfect place, but it was like a fair few miles back on the trail, and we needed to keep the mileage going. And we just managed to find this bizarre little strip of woodland. And I'll just show you. And then over there is like a little bungalow estate on the, like, there's a road, and then there's like bungalows, and then there's this, and then there is, like, I think it's like a motorway. I think it's like a part of the motorway. So yeah, it's just like this tiny little strip of woodland. To be fair, the cars weren't. To be fair, the cars weren't. It wasn't that busy last night, so I started picking up at about 5:30 this morning. The traffic started picking up again. We did a lot of the walk in the dark last night, actually, which was cool to some degree, but also a little bit a little bit scary. It'd be fine if it was just me, but because I'm with the kids as well. And they were really struggling a little bit towards the end. Those cars are loud, they're getting louder. Yeah, they were struggling a little bit. And they were getting a little bit sore and a little bit tired, and well, a lot tired. I'm not going to diminish how they felt, actually. They felt a lot tired. And my youngest was struggling a little bit. Wanted to keep stopping, having little breaks, which is fine. But he kept apologising. He was like, I'm really sorry about this. And it's like, it's okay. If we don't finish, we don't finish. If we don't finish, we don't finish. If we don't get there, we don't get there. That's fine. We don't. Like, please stop apologising to me. Please stop apologising. And I explained, like, don't forget, I'm doing this as an analogy for, like, accessing mental health services. Like, I'm pretty certain that's how. He's like, but I feel like a burden. I feel like I'm slowing you down. And it's like, you're not. I'm pretty certain that's how people with poor mental health feel all the fucking time. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a burden. I'm like dragging you down and weighing you down. And just go on without me. And I laugh, but it was a really good analogy. I was like, no, if we don't make it, we don't make it, If we don't finish this walk, we don't finish it, and that's just the way it is. Again, some people don't make it, and that's the sad truth. But at least with this, it's not that important if we don't finish it. It's just a walk. It's just a walk. So, I'm going to see how these guys are feeling. I can hear one rustling around already. I've had my coffee already. We've got just enough water for us to have a coffee each. And then we're going to have to find somewhere to fill up. I'm not quite sure how that's going to go. God, we were so grateful. to sit and eat quinoa. So fucking grateful for that little tub of fucking heaven. But it's 2 stock cubes and some quinoa boiled up between us. Oh my god. Yeah, we were grateful. It was eat and sleep. That was it. That's all we did. And and again, I suppose it's like survival. Basics. Just getting through the basics. Like, how much energy do we have to sit and chat, or to sit and read, or to sit and I could have edited some of my video last night and I didn't. I was tired, so I just went straight to sleep. It's like, again, you've got poor mental health. It's so exhausting. You just don't have the energy to do anything but the basics. Anything. Anything. And a lot of people are like, yeah, and all the fucking suggestions that you get given. Why don't you exercise? Why don't you do this? Why don't you get out and do that? Why don't you socialise more? Not only am I depressed, but I have social anxiety, so what you're asking me to do is like exhausting. It's exhausting. And then I just want to sleep. And I see it, in the people that I've dealt with that have had poor mental health. And it's taken me a while. It's taken me a long fucking time. It's taken me a long time to see how exhausting it must be to have poor mental health. Because personally, although I've had a lot of trauma and poor experiences that have dictated my inner monologue about me, I don't feel like I've ever suffered depression. I feel like I've suffered a bit of anxiety, and I've probably used substances in the past and alcohol to combat that anxiety, which is counterproductive. But I don't feel like I've ever been depressed. And I don't know why. I feel like there's plenty of times in my life when I could have been depressed. But I always felt like I had something to do, to get up and go for, and to achieve. And I can't imagine how it feels to feel like that all the time. And it has taken for me to see it in my children. There have been times in my life, please don't think that I'm, a perfect human being, because I'm fucking not. There have been times when I've really struggled with depressed people, really, really struggled. I've done the thing, well, why don't you just exercise? Well, why don't you just eat better? Well, why don't you just help yourself? Why don't you just do these things? Why don't you just do X, Y, and Z, and you'll feel way better? And it has taken for me to just flip the camera on because I'm getting armic. It has taken for me to see it in my kids, to get it, to see that it's, there are things that could help them feel better, but to do those things is extremely energy draining. So yes, they can do those things, but they need support to do those things. They need help, they need prompting, they need encouragement, they need the space and they need the time to build up to do that thing, and then sit and process that thing afterwards, and have time to decompress and go to sleep and not speak to anyone, and maybe even lash out because that thing that they did was exhausting and scary, and they feel like, fucking hell, I should just be able to do this thing without it being so impactful on me and other people. They need time and space. Yes, they can do those things, but they can't just do them like that. They can't just do them on their own, and they can't just do them every day. They might be able to do them once a week, and the rest of the week is spent fucking recovering, and it has to be a gradual implementation. And I can tell you right now that I don't think anybody can just do that on their own, not without time and space as well. That they can do it on their own, physically on their own, But they can't do that and exist in a normal society, like, where they're expected to work and go to the shops and get their food and cook for themselves and do X, Y, and Z. You can't do it all. Like, I think people that aren't depressed struggle to do that. Really, like, this society we're in is not geared up for wellness. It's not geared up for mental wellness, for physical wellness. Something really needs to change, like, massively. And I don't understand why it's not changing, because we know all this, like, it's all scientifically proven. Scientifically proven. It's all scientifically proven. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm using it. That's my word now. I made that word. That what we do and how we live is not okay for us. It's not beneficial to wellness. It's not good for our health. It's not good for our physical health, our mental health, our emotional health. And then you come with that space where, okay, yeah, well, depressed people can stop working. They can stop working. They can claim PIP. They can claim benefits. They can, claim universal credit. They can get working for capabilities or limited, whatever it's called, capabilities for work thing. You know what I mean? It's a thing. But fucking hell, it's hard to get. Like, you should see the forms. They're fucking intense, really intense. Like, in order to do that, you've got to claim universal credit. There's like a 6-week delay in getting any money. Then you have to keep going to have appointments, and this is before, like, you've said that you're not well, so you have to go and do this thing, and they don't treat you very nicely a lot of the time. Then you've got to try and attempt to get, a doctor's note, a fit note. I don't know why they changed the name of that. It's stupid. What a load of waste of time and energy and money. Anyway, then you've got to go get a fit note. It's fucking hard as fuck to get an appointment at the doctor's. I don't know about anybody else, but, like, you sit on the phone for God knows how long, or you try and do the online thing, if you can do the online thing. Not everybody has access to internet or is tech savvy. A lot of people struggle with tech. It's very frustrating. So then you've got to get an appointment at the doctor's, which is difficult in itself. Then you've got to try and sit there and articulate how you feel to the doctor, which isn't easy if you're depressed and you're struggling. Then you've got to try and convince the doctor to give you a fit note, because they don't always do it. Then, in the meantime, you might try and claim PIP or something, or working capabilities, which again is a form and a half. It can take you hours and hours and hours to fill that in. Then you've got to try and claim PIP again, hours and hours and hours. And that's if you've got any proof that you've got, these depression symptoms.